So today's class will go through analysis of current recruitment. So what are the current recruitment practice? What are the challenges we face in recruitment? So this is the last session for us, and if you have attended the last two sessions and you understood the concept, this is going to be a easy one. Okay, so we will go through challenges in recruitment, and we'll go through trends in recruitment, trends in selection process, and issues in recruitment and selection. So this will be the key concepts covered in this PPT. Okay, so here we will go to three steps in hiring process. So first is job analysis, as I read it in Deepak's comment. So that is the first point. You understand what the job is, what is the vacancy is all about. So you need to do that. So that's the first step. So next is recruiting. So next recruiting, the strategy of recruiting. I mean, who are you going to recruit and how long it's going to take, the whole plan of recruitment. And afterwards is after you recruit, what happens. So those are the three steps in hiring process. So the major challenges would be lead time analysis. So lead time analysis is nothing but time taken to complete the process of recruitment. It is how long do you want the resource to be in your organization. So what is the time given by the organization for the recruitment, and what is the time taken for the sourcing. So how long it is taken for you to get the sourcing of candidates and then to recruit. So those would be one of the major challenges which an HR recruitment would face. And road ahead. So after you recruit, and what happens? So that's the road ahead challenges. So trends. So what are the trends which you have in recruitment? So you can outsource. You will try to poach from competitors. So online or e-recruitment and campus recruitment, summer internships, contract recruitment, and temporary recruitment. So this is already we would have gone through a few of the methods. So this also follows the same thing. So you outsource one of the key process in your organization. So that is recruitment process outsourcing. External server producers are conducting all are parts of clients' recruitment services. It is very common today and widely accepted in the industry. So this practice helps the organization in reducing time and costs in recruitment. So e-recruitment, this is you recruit through internet. So the sourcing of the candidates from various networking sites like LinkedIn and other other websites or other sources in internet. So it has created a revolution in recruitment and selection process. Careers with us or job at organization is common button on company's website. You can see this in any company website, career with us or in jobs and vacancies position. So you can see that in any company, if you go through, you can see this common link. So today, aspirants have global mindset and information opening are available online itself. So you don't need to check advertisements. You don't need to see buy newspapers separately for it. So everything is available online, and aspirants can anytime check any companies, any openings. It's out in the open world, so they can easily view it and they can apply for it. So they are also collecting database 24/7 throughout this so that they can get the best candidates. So this also helps in time and money of the companies, and for aspirants it is easier to access it on 24/7. So e-recruitment is playing a major role currently. So this is summer internship program, as you also would have gone, right? So as at Sunsoon, you also would have gone for internship programs to understand what's happening in organization. So this is also one sort of trends in recruitment. This program bridges the gap between concepts reinforced in classroom, and real corporate and environmental situation. Corporates having opportunity to evaluate students for long-term perspective. So internship program is undertaken in the discipline concept. So this one you would have already experienced, I guess, by now, correct? Summer internship. So anyone would have attended in Sunstone? Yeah. So anything you wanted to tell about it in recruitment perspective? So with the last two classes and how this internship program, so you would have attended internship as an just student. So now if you're learning recruitment, can you think on what perspective they were thinking about you? Can you go to the other side and yes, yeah. What I wanted to learn is or understand from you people is so right now with this recruitment class. So can you see what is the expected from HR perspective in the organization where you went for internship? So few thoughts on that. Anyone? You can also type if you have any experience on internship and you can think any of the perspective of the recruiter now. What the recruiter would have thought about uh, while recruiting or while taking you for internship. So okay, anybody wants to comment? Abhijit, yeah. Do you want to talk about it? So with respect to recruiter perspective,
Sir, I feel this summer internship is a chance for a student and a recruiter of a company to provide opportunity for a student, as well as it is also an opportunity for a student to work and learn things in a company at an early stage. As well as a recruiter can summer it's an internship, it's like training. A recruiter can understand how a student is performing, and if he likes, he can hire the intern and do permanent. It helps him in his recruiting.
so that's good perspective, valuable comment. So what happens is if there are any open positions at that point of time in that particular project or in the organization, and if you are able to suit or meet any of those requirements, then he can consider you for the position as well during internship programs. So it could act as a bridge for you as well as for the organization. Thanks, Soumya, for those comments. So next is campus recruitment. This already we've gone through. So So this happens in majority of the engineering college and arts and science college, famous arts and science college. So campus recruitment happens in the final year, and so that's where they get hold of the bright students in various divisions and various organizations. So this everyone would have known about it, and there are lots of only difference between campus recruitment and normal hiring for experiences. The number of tests they take will be higher. So normally for experienced individual, they wouldn't go through all this aptitude and group discussion. They would have a some, yeah, rarely they used to get aptitudes and GDs. So experienced people, they would directly go for interviews, and based on the interview performance they would be selected. But for freshers, they have to do the rigor, the interviews, the test would be much higher. So contract recruitment. So this is based on project requirement for an organization. For example, certain job or certain project, there will be contracts between companies. So it will be only a 5 years basis and 7 years basis. So similarly, they would hire individuals only for that period of time. For example, if the contractors or if the project starts from today and it ends on 2020, if that is the agreement, so they would just need people only for 2 years. So before starting, they would already take a consent from the job seeker that this project is going to be for only 2 years, and after that, uh, we are not sure. That's what the HR would come in hand. Before the start of all everything, he would tell that this is a contract-based job, and based on contract, your employment will be, and that those the salary negotiation, all those will happen based on that. So this is kind of happening now. Majority of the people, they don't want to be in permanent payroll because of various reasons, individual reasons, and company also doesn't have any temporary role, I mean permanent role for this kind of recruitment. So they would hire in contract people, and they would complete the project, and after that they would let go of the employee. So this kind of recruitment is booming right now. Okay, and yeah, so in this kind of recruitment, what's very important is communication. So communication is critical throughout this process. Contracts, insurance, accommodation, and expenses, everything needs to be told beforehand, and it has to take consent from the job seeker, and then only this can go smooth. Okay, so contract recruitment has the challenges, because if the particular employee doesn't meet the contract, then the project goes down, and hiring team needs to hire again. So those kind of challenges they would be facing for this kind of recruitment, because it's already planned, and they should have a backup of resources for this kind of um, job profile. Yeah, this is similar to what we talked about temporary recruitment and contract recruitment. This is just flexible workforces that can respond based on the business demand. This is like they would say, if the project goes well, it would go forever or for 10 years, and if it's not, we have to do something else. Okay, so this you're not sure. This is uh, agile projects. Right? We do have. Contract based, but we do have right now agile based projects. For example, we said the team will give a prototype of the product, and if the prototype meets the customer expectation, and if they are happy about it, and if they find any buyers, then they would say yes, we can sign in for the project, and they would go ahead, and then the project would have the certain deadlines, and then it flourishes. And if the customer doesn't like it, you would just say scrap the project, no more work, and it's all done. So this kinds of projects are happening. It would be happening in startup teams, yes. So this is temporary recruitment. You have to tell beforehand that this recruitment would be on a temporary basis, and based on how the project goes, the recruitment can happen, or the employee can stay for the project. So as long as the project is good, your job is there, and if it is not, I mean, you would be able to move on. So you should be this would be happening majorly in startups. So this is a flexible workforces that can respond to a ever-changing business demand. This is recognized by quick, efficient, and provides strong level of fit between the recruitment of companies and matching skill. This is one of the most noticeable effects of downsizing epidemic and labor shortage of past 2 decades has been dramatic rise in the use of temporary employees. So this is like uh, companies when tend to downsize people, right? So when they are cutting costs, okay, they don't want to hire people when any new recruitment comes. So those sort of period, so temporary recruitment kicks in, and also during startup period. So today, just-in-time can be formed staffing all types of jobs in the organization, including professional, technical, and higher executive. Just now, I want it. I just need this position to be filled in for 1 year. I'm not sure about what's going to happen a couple of years later or 5 years down the line. I don't know what's going to happen to my company. This is the plan I have, and if that goes smooth, then I'll have a clear strategy of how I will kick in things. So this is just-in-time recruitment. Okay, so any doubts here? So we just went through trends in recruitment, challenges. Any doubts, any comments? Yes. Okay, no doubts. No doubts. Okay, okay, Deepak. Thank you. Okay, so we'll find This is the following selection processes which company kicks in for hiring. So first would be an application, and an interview would be scheduled. And for few job profiles, we'll have psychometric assessment. So psychometric assessment is very common in government jobs. So if you go for any SSC exams or any exams UPSC, so you would be having this psychometric assessment and reference check after your yeah. Sometimes it can happen before they give you offer, and sometimes it happens after they give the offer. So next is the offer. Offer is what an employee gets when he's cleared all interviews and when he's ready to take the job. And the orientation. Orientation is various induction programs which company gives to the newcomers. So it will help the company, the freshers who and joins the company newly, to know about the company, what are the process involved in various activities. So HR would play a major role during the orientation itself. So this is the selection process which many companies brings in. So general process. So that's what we're going to go through. So application. So if you go through advertisement for recruitment, one item is common, last date of application. Means but that application, fill the application and reach the application on or before that date. So um, the common application form generally consists of personal information. So you should be able to write what all the information regarding your personal details, your educational qualification, your work experience. So salary. This okay. So what's very important here is when you fill out applications, right? You should not give any wrong details. Okay. So and this is the place where integrity plays a major role. So application, though it may sound an easy one, so you should always think through as an applicant or as a recruiter to get this information correct. So any lapse in work experiences, you should note it down. So and raise concerns, because before joining itself, if you're able to get those concerns or able to get clarified with all these details, then you don't need to worry after his joining. For example, let us consider the let us take if someone is having a gap of 2 years or 3 years and they are not able to explain it clearly, so which means there is something they are hiding, right? So you should be able to get those details, get it understand clearly by getting that application form filled itself. So this is the important thing, you have to note it down. So this plays a major role. You have to when you're screening for applicants, you have to see whether they are meeting your criteria, whether the details are correct. So all those things matters. So personality items, reference checks. So any application for job, they have to give the references, professional references. Either this could be educational or any other previous employer, supervisor, or some manager who has done some supervision of the current employee. Okay, so application involves all these details: personal, educational, work experience, salary, and reference checks. So interviews. So interviews is we have interviews based on job profile, mainly for freshers or 1 or 2 years experience. The set of interviews would be different, and for experience, the set of interviews could be different. So if it is fresher or couple of year experience, you may undergo preliminary interviews, because there would be many applicants who wanted to fill that position, because the experience, as the experience is less, there is the probability that many people would want to come into the job. Okay, So the aim of prelims is to eliminate the applicants who are obviously unqualified of jobs. These interviews are generally informal and unstructured and conducted even before the candidates fill in the application. This presents more obvious facts and information. This enables the manager to quickly evaluate the interviewee on the basis of appearance and quality of communication. So, for example, they would have a specified set of skills needed for the job. For example, let us take a domain. For the job, medical domain is only needed. So anyone who is not having medical domain can leave. So that would be a one preliminary interview process wherein which they can just read out the uh, candidates who not met the criteria. This is just example. So it could be anything. So it depends on the profile in which the interview is being conducted. And formal and structured interview. So this is based on thorough job analysis which directs the flow of interview. These questions cover all pertinent facts. The same questions are asked to all candidates which helps in better evaluation. They would have a formal set of questions. Okay, so they would be having a set of points or set of instructions for the interview panel, and based on that structure the interview will happen and the results would be sent across. So this is unstructured interview. So we there's no structured frames. It's like more open-ended questions, like hypothetical questions. If this scenario happens, what will you do? And based on the response of the candidates, the interview panel will be able to select those kind of. So this varies. Okay, based on job profile, this interviews structure can be different. And most of the times, it would be a mix of structured and unstructured interview, because too much of structured interview be boring, and it would not give a clear idea about the uh, job applicant or the job seeker, how he is really qualified. Okay, so if you have a set of questions and he is not able to answer, sometimes he will be able to answer better in hypothetical questions. So this is like not every time they will have some structured questions and few unstructured questions to break the ice of the candidates they may post in between. So it could be either, it will be a mix of all this structured and unstructured interview. An in-depth interview. This is more suitable in selecting candidates for high-end technology and high-skill jobs. Experts in the relevant areas test this candidate's knowledge and understanding of the subjects and assess his expertise. So they determine suitability of candidates for the jobs in question based on this evaluation. So this would be a more expertise kind of role, like a CTO or a architect for a project. So this interview can happen. They would go in depth of each technology the requirement wants to fill in, and they want to understand how technical the person is. So panel interview. In this process, representatives from various departments get to meet and interview a candidate. This reduces the subjectivities involved in the one-to-one interview. So this happens mainly as you go up the ladder for a managerial position. This can happen. So there would be panel present, and they would want to take a shot of how good you are in various skills. So when the skill set requirement is large, this kind of this kind of interview can happen. So group interview, there will be not one person. There will be a couple of persons who would be in the interview table, and they would want to test your skills. So based on how you behave. For example, one of the interviewer would be checking only how your body language is. He will not even talk anything. Another person will be interacting. So they just wanted to understand, the instead of having one people, they just want to have two or three set of people and see how the candidate behaves. So this are all sort of interviews which can happen, and it all depends on the job profile which we have, which the project have. Okay, so anyone attended interview till now? So can you guys talk about what sort of interview it is? So was it a panel? So let's talk about stress interview later. So till now, anyone attended interview? Can you guys relate to what I'm talking here? Okay, Megha. So you attended one interview. So how was it? What was the interview? Was it structured, unstructured? Did you have any preliminary? Unstructured? Okay. Okay, guys. So as an HR recruiter, why do you need to know all this? That is also you should think about, right? So you should be able to understand what sort of interview can happen for a particular position. Though you will not be interviewing everybody for that role, for example. Yeah, you should be able to know in a hindsight for a big picture. So this can happen. So this would be for the process. So so it would be helpful down the line for everyone. And as so though you're a recruiter, you would be also able to attend interviews. So in that also you can learn about it. Okay, so as you go, as your career progresses, so you'll be attending all sorts of interview, and you'll be getting the experience on it. Okay. Yes, Saurabh. Internship. Okay, you've attended internship or interview. Guys, you can talk, if you have a mic or something, you can talk. Else you can type. Okay, telephonic interview. Okay, yeah, I missed it out. Telephonic, fine. So if the this is also telephonic is also kind of preliminary interview sometimes. So before so if the location of the candidates and the location of the job is different, then first they don't want to um, spend much time by bringing the candidates in if it is out of state. So they just wanted to see whether by preliminary investigation they want to see if the particular candidate fills in for the job, that does he meets the basic expectations. So telephonic interview normally is preliminary. It also comes under preliminary interview. So easy way to get through the candidates. So that's good points. Okay, stress interview. So as the name says, it just wanted to emphasize on how you react on various situations. They would just wanted to bring out your emotions out of it. What it tests is you is emotional quotient. There is something called IQ, intelligent quotient, and stress interview wants to bring both into IQ and EQ. So this job, based on job, so if the job demand is more stressful, and if project is not going well, and they need someone who can take those stress and and doesn't want to give it to the um, people under them. Okay, so they just wanted to understand how emotionally suited the candidate is. So when you take any stress interview, they just wanted to see how emotional you are. So if you get that correct, you'll clear that. Okay. So objective is test the applicant's abilities to perform and deliver under stress. Interviews put the interview under stress by repeatedly interrupting him, criticizing his answer, asking him unrelated questions, or keeping quiet for a long time after interview has finished talking. So these are some of the basic techniques the interviewer will have to do a stress interview. Okay, psychometric assessment. This is standard process to measure intelligence or aptitude or personality of aspirants. It is one of the most important parts of selection process of many domestic and international organizations. This helps employer to find best match of individual to occupation and working ambience. It is a standardized process and it's reliable, predictive, and non-discriminatory. So psychometric assessment, it's not much technical, it's just general process oriented assessment. So so this you would have already learned about it, else you can search in internet about it. So this is this basic sort of assessment which knows about the candidate's mindset. If any, for example, it could be ethics related, it could be process related, it could be how integrate in integrity perspective or in honesty perspective, how honest a candidate would be. So this sort of assessment predominantly plays a major role in psychometric. Reference check. The information given by the candidates is checked by references after final decision taken and before offer is to be made. This reference could have been work related or would have been educational related. So majorly personal they would avoid. They just it could be in work related or education. That's what the companies would prefer. So some companies may take personal, but as far as I know, it's no normally on work related references and also education related. In either case, to the extent that you could, you provide the organization with a list of people who you believe would generally speak favorably about you. So this is normal. So you don't want to give a reference who talks bad about you, right? So that's it. So orientation. Orientation is the process by which we introduce new employees to the organization, their superiors, co-workers, and job. The orientation process provides a foundation upon which new employees can build their skill and contribute to our efforts to provide responsive and effective services to the organization. So, so if you are a campus recruit, you would have gone through orientation. So once you're selected, they would ask you to gather together and they would tell about the company's policies and norms uh, and then you would know about the what is the position of the company, what is the recruitment is for. So you'll know more about it, and once you're done with that, okay. Questions. So is psychometric and stress interview correlated to each other? Not necessarily. So not necessarily, Deepak. Uh, See, psychometric would be common to all the applicants. Okay, for example, an organization would have a set a standard process that every candidate um, who's about to give the job offer or who's getting interviewed for has to have a psychometric assessment. So it doesn't have any specific template. It is a generic template in which all the employees or all the new candidates will have to go through. But stress interview differs based on job description. Okay, so they would just think about stress interview for certain specific roles alone. Okay, so that's where the two of them majorly differs. So it's not related to each other. Okay, good question. Any questions, guys? Till now, I think I'm about to finish. Any other questions? Okay. So reference check we done. Yeah, orientation is the process in which you company introduces new employee in the offer. Once the candidates are evaluated and final decision is taken, the offer letters are made, they are formal, they are written and request acceptance in writing. So objective of the offer letter is we are pleased to select you for esteemed organization. And another thing with respect to offers, they will all the HR will always give a deadline. For example, the the new employee has to accept the offer within a specific time frame. So this also will let the recruiter know whether a particular employee will join or will not join. So issues in recruitment and selection. Breakdown in collaboration with other organizations in poaching. Organization could offer job to which they thought of valuable, but it does not meet poach and hunting 100% right perspective. This spoils the goodwill of an organization to some extent. Okay, for example, you take a poaching is normally means is you taking employee from other companies and cutting down the competitor. Okay, so it is like an illegal hunting or something. So sometimes this can happen and this would disrupt the goodwill of an organization. So competition driving up salary to unrealistic level. Okay, so for what happens is uh, your current company for your same job role they are giving 100% of what you are earning. So what happens is the current employee would in your organization would wants to move out of the company because of the salary they are giving, right? So that is competition driving up salary. Resume check. Authentic. For poaching, guys, hired hunters, yeah, could be. You can call that, yes. Okay, this is common in today's scenario of fierce competition. So yeah, so this is based on job need. For example, one company wants the particular position to be filled as early as possible. Otherwise, they're going to face losses. Then they're going to up the salary. So that could be a challenges for the other companies recruiters. And resume check. The authenticity of resume is questionable in this stiff competitive world. Prospective employees are using track methodology to judge reliability of the content by references, educational qualifications, talking to candidates over phone, previous employer reputation, etc. Okay, so resume check. So this is like so how integral the particular employee or the particular new employee is. So whether all the details is given in the application and resume is correct. Okay, so this is one of the major break or make thing for employees. So if anything is found wrong, then they have to be fired. So there is no way that an organization would accept a person who is making wrong. Um, Wrong or is hiding something, any of those, right? So organization if they find anything wrong or incorrect statement of what he has given, so the particular employee would be able to fire. So these are all the challenges the recruiter has. He has to make sure that everything is correct. He has to make sure the background verification is done for the particular candidate, and background verification result has to come and it has to be in line with what candidate has said. So those are the things the recruiter would has to take into consideration. So internet and PC savvy. This is applicable in popularizing recruitment, but rate of enhancement in PC penetration in our country is quite high. So this is happened 5 years back maybe. So now everybody is having internet. So this wouldn't be a major problem now, considering everybody has access. Even in rural areas, internet is coming up. So soon everyone would be easy to recruit, and this challenge can be overcome. This based on technology. So this is inbreeding, nepotism, and old boys network. So for example, how do we tell? Like for example, in one project, whoever the manager knows is getting recruited, right? So it's like uh, so you have to, the company will be making a process related to it. In any company you see, if you are the direct relative to any of the managers or higher organization, you will not be put in the same project. So those this kind of practices company overtakes. So this is also a uh, challenge in which recruitment faces. Okay, and face-to-face interview, meet the candidates in person. Technologies have created impact on every function of an organization, and recruitment and selection is not an exception. An employer prefers to contact or interact to people and understand that HR would be asset for them. This will be help the organization to manage expectation of work in best possible manner. So this is like when you do telephonic interview and when you have face-to-face interview, the candidate's response is different, right? So how do you take that? So you will always have a set of questions. Whatever you answer in telephonic, you will try to get the same answer in face-to-face itself. So this kind of challenges, some of the challenges in which recruitment and selection team faces. Okay, you have an informal question. Okay, Mega, shoot it. Any questions, guys? Any doubts? Okay. Okay, Mega. So this is like you have attended 3 interviews. Okay, this is okay. Maybe the job. Yeah, they just asked me question. Yeah. So they just wanted to get answers from you whether you fit the job profile or not. So could be that. So you don't worry about it. So as we went through these classes, right, the job analysis that plays a major role, and any recruiter, when he is taking into consideration, he want to see whether the job expectations are met, and also how, yeah, that is the first thing. So job analysis plays a major role. Just take that in your mind, and as a recruiter, that's the first thing everyone has to consider. Any questions related to recruiting, guys? Just let me know. So if you have any questions, you can post in discussion forum, and when I have time I can just reply to you guys back, and yeah, that should do. And I'll have to grade all of your assignments as well. Okay, so two things I expect from you. So one is when you are summing up your class, just give just probably 200 words, 300 words, not just bullet points. Okay, so that would give you a good discussion going on. So if anything, if anything is not clear, I would be able to understand from your summary, and I can just help you from it. And it's also better to see how well you have understood. Since the class is online, so we need to bridge the gap. The only way to bridge the gap is by seeing clearly what you have understood, right? So if you can write, it means you have understood it, your thinking is correct. So only by writing you are proving you are correct. So that's the point. Okay, everyone got that? Okay, guys, then I'll sign off, and all the best for your exams. Okay, I'll sign off from here. And if you have anything, if you want to ask any questions, I'll be there in LinkedIn. Probably you can connect with me there, and probably we can. I mean, if you have any difficulties, if you have any questions, you can contact me. Okay, I'll try to help as much as I can. Fine. Okay, guys, it was great. So this class was great, and everybody who was attended has asked majority of the questions. So and also answered to what all questions I've asked. So I'm very happy with how the class went. I'll see how you guys flourish in your exams and your career. All the best. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'll see you. I'll see you sometime later.